All right, my friends, how are you today? Happy Friday. Aaron here bringing you your horoscope for Friday the 17th of July, 2020. We've got the moon in Gemini. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, my time, Eastern Standard Time, we've got the moon meeting up with Venus, okay? So Venus retrograded in Gemini. Venus has been in Gemini now for almost 2 months, so it seems it's been there for quite a while. And it's going to be there for the rest of the month as well. Okay, and the moon conjunct Venus, this is always a fun connection. Every month when this happens is always a lovely connection because it's our emotional needs as well as what we want and desire. Okay, and then Mars, our planet of action, is how we get our emotional needs and what we want and desire, right? And we happen to have this loose sextile happening right now. Moon, Venus here at 13 degrees, Mars, Chiron, still conjunct, creating that sextile here. Okay, really cool. This is, again, it's taking us to looking at all the aspects and pushing us to step outside of our comfort zone, pushing us to have the conversations that might be odd or challenging. I just read this fun quote by Timothy Leary the other day, or didn't read it, but shared it on my social media. And it's just like, admit it, how we want to have those conversations. We want to say hello to the person in the elevator. We want to have these interesting conversations and step outside of the norm, but we get stuck back into saying things like, "Oh, how does the weather?" And this kind of energy is highlighting this Friday, and where we're moving toward in this weekend, and just in general, is, again, step outside of the comfort zone and not be afraid to have those conversations. Not be afraid to just let your wants and your desires to communicate. And Mercury being in the sign of Cancer right now while this is happening, because Gemini, Mercury rules Gemini, and we have this Venus moon conjunction in Gemini. Okay, so this is, communicating things about our emotions, of what we want, what we feel, how we feel about stuff. And then Mars there in Aries says, let's take off, let's take action. I'm not waiting for anybody. So this is like, hey, strike while the iron's hot. There's somebody here I want to talk to. Yeah, I'm going to talk to them. Hello, how are you? It was something else in the quote. I'll see if I can pull it up here. Maybe I'll attach it to the video, or the end at the bottom of the screen. But it was like, tell me something that makes you cry, And it was just kind of funny because it's like, right, you don't want to just start off a conversation with that. Tell me something that makes you cry. But it's like, it's interesting, right? It's taking a spin on conversation. So with Venus and the moon conjunct today, this is happening early in the morning, but we might have the sensation to switch up our conversation, to try something different than we have been trying in the past. And we still have this, these meddling oppressors is what I'm calling them right now. These guys are really telling us they really want us to do the work. Okay, we still have this sesqui-square here, and that's going to turn into these quincunxes, which is all, very, very similar energy. You see the moon's moving on here. We got 5 p.m. Yeah, and we're going to start hitting these quincunxes, a 5/12 aspect. Again, that's that same energy of I can't see you. I don't see eye to eye on you. This is a masker versus a non-masker, and they both have their opinions. They just do not see eye to eye. They both have their reasonings, their rights, their wants, and they just cannot seem to figure out how to stand in the same spot and get the, conversation to flow evenly and equally. This is not the easiest aspect, especially because we're dealing with emotions. Okay, and even further, we have the sun over here, continuation of yesterday, smack dab between Saturn and Pluto, saying change. There's a ton of pressure being put on us right now to change our lives. Okay, there's also a ton of energy suggesting that there's a great release happening. Okay, the septile between Mars and Chiron happening this weekend as well, still septile to the south node. Okay, that is something to be taking serious awareness of, because again, with all of this energy suggesting that we change, switch things up, Again, what do we value? How do we value ourselves? How do we value a situation? How do we value things within our lives? How do we value these things versus our public image? How do they make us look? How do we feel sexy and confident? You know, do we feel able in the business world to walk into that boardroom meeting or whatever it is, to look the boss in the face, put out a handshake, and know that we have this job? Again, this is something about our wants and desires and how we're communicating of what we want and desire. And then further, again, the sun being here in emotional Cancer, and saying, like, understanding our emotions, or at least moving toward how we feel, expression of our emotions, as the sun is our ego expression. Once again, creating that opposition and that quincunx over here to the south node. There's a release. What in the past has made me think that I wasn't good enough for this job, right? Well, I'm going to release that energy today. And then we have this little semi-sextile that's going to start to happen here between the moon and the sun and the north node here. Again, switching up the conversation. There's a different way to handle this. There's a different way to approach this. We still have Neptune trine the sun in this mix. Easy flow of energy between two water signs, between possibility, endless possibility, my emotions, again, my comfort zone, my safe space. And this is saying, we're going to expand your safe space, child. We're going to take you out of the crib, and you're going to learn this whole lay of the land here, and there's nothing stopping you. There's no boundaries and limits that are holding you back from you expressing yourself, from you being, from you wanting, from you desiring. Okay? And it's like stepping up to be our own boss. We gotta be that boss. Kind of like what we talked about the other day as well, is like becoming the teacher. We're becoming this great parent to ourselves. We're becoming the great guru in our own lives, and we're becoming very self-sufficient. And that's what this Capricorn energy says that we want. We want this self-sufficiency. I'm disciplined to handle things myself. Is that and you see these other, like, these astrology memes, and it's just like the child talking to God in the different sign. If it's the Leo, it's just like, aren't you really glad I'm your son or I'm your daughter? Aren't you? And when it comes to the Capricorn, it's just like, why would I bother asking for help? It's just like, you gave me this life so I could figure it out on my own. I don't know. There's some funny astrology memes out there, but that's like a thing for Capricorn. It's just like, very self-sufficient, very independent. So our independence is being challenged. Our independence is being checked today, leading into this weekend, and saying, it's just like, look, you got this. You got this. Whatever's going on, you got it. There's going to be changes that are coming up in our lives, which is good. We want those changes. We invite them in with open arms. And we're going to switch up again. We're expanding our comfort zone. Getting outside, stepping outside that rectangle, right, where all the magic happens. All right, so it's a beautiful day. Again, we're being a little bit of pressure. We're being tried by the universe to create that change within our lives, and I know it's going to just come out in a really magical, fantastic way. And lastly, that with the South Node, again, with all this great release stuff going on, Uranus still sesqui-square as well to the South Node. It is just adding this bit of a boost with the Sun, Uranus, and this Mars Chiron energy all connecting with the South Node, as well as the Moon coming in here as well. Again, this is saying the Moon emotionally need to create change. Intellectual conversations, stimulating conversations, thinking outside the box. This is dealing with our thinking, our thought process, and communication, and expressing, of course, from our hearts and our emotions. Okay, so everything is really connecting here to the South Node today. Okay, even Saturn. Okay, Saturn, the pressure, release. Okay, so whatever it is going on, whatever we think we couldn't do, this is all up for change. The sky's the limits. All right, everything is possible, and everything is going to be all right. Okay, have a beautiful Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow.